it looks like Jen Rosati and Don Staley and all those folks that Cheryl Reeve, who had a hand in Caitlin Clark not making Team USA last year in the Olympics, the actual committee, looks like they may be...
What if the brightest star in women's basketball is suddenly cut from the Olympic team? The fallout is instant. People lose their jobs. No one saw it coming.
I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch dirt just be moved around. Because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. If she's there, it's appointment TV. You people, whoever did this, honestly, hey, take your brain, put it in a museum, and study it for how dumb.
After Caitlin Clark's shocking Olympic snub, USA basketball didn't just blink. They detonated the whole selection system. Heads rolled, careers shattered, and the word karma barely scratches the surface. With Sue Bird now calling the shots, the path for the Indiana Fever's brightest stars to reach Los Angeles 2028 is completely unrecognizable. No one predicted the storm this would unleash. What really went down with Cheryl Reeve and the Olympic Committee behind closed doors? Drop your thoughts on CC 2028 below. And if the idea of Caitlin finally stepping onto the Olympic stage excites you, you know what to do.
A committee. Dawn Staley, Jennifer Rizzuti, and all of the hooligans associated in picking the USA basketball team. All of the hooligans, Cheryl Reeves included, so full of themselves, so bound by tribalism that they just couldn't look past their own nose. And at the end of the day, look at them now. Look at them now. The same fate as Cheryl Swoops calling those Dallas Wings games. Tell me when I'm telling...
Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympic roster, and the official explanation was vague, neatly packaged, and almost unbelievable. That's exactly what they wanted everyone to believe. Jen Rosati, the chair of the selection committee, insisted the choice was purely basketball business. Experience mattered. International play mattered. But fame? Influence? Marketability? Those apparently didn't exist in the room where the decision was made.
The Olympics, a person from either South Korea or Japan, holding up the Caitlin Clark sign. Team USA looked at that gentleman and said, $sign, $sign. These people over there in Japan, these people over there in South Korea, they're not paying for Team USA to come and watch hoop, but they'll pay for Caitlin Clark. In fact, they are so strong about voicing that they'll pay for Caitlin Clark. They'll come to the Olympic game holding a sign that says, you guys.
Are you telling me they ignored the single most unstoppable force in women's basketball? The player who obliterated nearly every NCAA scoring record and, in just a year, reshaped the entire sport. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about fame. Clark didn't just dominate at home, she proved herself on the world stage, winning gold twice and earning MVP honors at the U19 FIBA tournament. She wasn't inexperienced, she was battle-tested, a global powerhouse. And yet, somehow, it wasn't enough.
Decision on his part. Caitlin Clark is PR. That's where, how can they leave her? Once again, everybody's, out together. They don't want to grow.
Let's rewind to when Clark stormed into the WNBA. The effect was immediate and electric. Every city the Fever visited saw ticket prices soar, sometimes doubling overnight. Arenas that once struggled to reach half capacity were suddenly packed to the rafters. Her debut? Unprecedented. More fans tuned in to watch the Indiana Fever face off against the Connecticut Sun than any other NBA playoff game that weekend. The league had never seen anything like it. Clark's rookie jersey didn't just sell, it obliterated sales records. And that was just the beginning. By the end of her first season, she had shattered 62 league records, leaving a trail of stunned fans and competitors in her wake.
I remember the National Basketball Association, the NBA, the commissioner, Adam Silver, he came right out and said, I wouldn't have left Caitlin Clark off that team. And he even said, and several others said, women's basketball really dropped the ball on an opportunity to grow the women's game by leaving Caitlin Clark off that.
These weren't just small victories, they were seismic shifts. The way fans watched, engaged with, and fell in love with women's basketball was forever transformed. And yet, the Olympic Committee somehow decided she wasn't worth a spot on the team. The backlash was immediate, fiery, and impossible to ignore. Those inside the sport saw the truth instantly. Stephen A. Smith tore into the decision, calling it a deliberate chokehold on the growth of women's basketball at the moment it needed momentum the most. Four-time Olympic gold medalist Lisa Leslie didn't mince words either, labeling it the single biggest marketing disaster in the history of the game.
It's about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision?
This wasn't just a bad call. It exposed a fossilized system run by people who refused to evolve. The committee operated as if women's basketball were still invisible, struggling for scraps of attention like it did back in 2004. They couldn't, or wouldn't, see that Clark was more than talent. She was a once-in-a-generation phenomenon, a player who could catapult the sport onto the global stage. During the Olympics, casual fans tune in, discover new stars, and fall in love with the game. And yet, the committee deliberately sidelined the one athlete proven to bring those viewers into arenas, into homes, into the heart of basketball itself.
For the first time, like in the history of basketball, you have arguably a player who is the most popular player in the world. Like, you could argue right now, Caitlin Clark is the most talked about, discussed, most popular, most puts asses in the seats, single basketball player in the world. You could argue that. Yeah, you could say maybe LeBron, Luka, whatever you want, but you can argue it. And you leave her off the Olympics team, it's not only a showcase for her, it's for the sport and the other WNBA players who are on this team. How dumb, how brain dead, how idiotic to the people running this thing.
This wasn't just about one snub. It was a wake-up call for an entire sport teetering on the edge. Now, selections are guided by someone who truly understands the game and the business behind it. And for Caitlin Clark, everything has changed. Her chances of finally stepping onto the Olympic stage have skyrocketed, and the story of her potential redemption is only just beginning.